We are diving into a topic that should be top of mind for every CIO and CFO right now.
Mm-hmm.
The massive collision between generative AI and, well, enterprise resource planning, ERP.
Right. And this isn't just about making your old software a little bit smarter.
No.
This is a fundamental shift. We're talking about changing the ERP from this passive system of record.
Yeah, the place you just dump data into.
Exactly, into a powerful automated system of action.
And the timing on this feels incredibly urgent.
It is.
I mean, we looked at sources showing that by mid-2024, something like 65% of organizations were already using Gen AI regularly.
Yeah.
The speed it's just staggering.
It is staggering.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's the catch that makes this conversation so critical for you listening.
Okay.
While AI adoption is just exploding, that old legacy problem with enterprise tech, it's still there.
The implementation problem.
The big one.
Yeah.
Gartner is warning that over 70% of new ERP projects, they're going to miss their business goals by 2027.
Wait, hang on. 70%.
70. Yeah, it's huge.
That's not a failure rate. That's a broken model.
It is a broken model, and that's why AI is either the solution or it's just fuel on a fire. You know, it's the accelerant of chaos.
So you either fix the process or you just make the broken process run faster.
Precisely. Get it right, and AI can finally fix this deep-rooted problem.
Okay, so that's our mission for this deep dive.
Mm.
We're going to give you the blueprint. We'll unpack the key benefits, the specific vendor tools driving this, and maybe most importantly, the non-negotiable governance steps.
Right.
We want to convert all this buzz into scalable, measurable cash ROI.
So to start, let's just clearly define the transformation. What are we actually talking about here?
Good idea.
It's about embedding predictive and generative AI directly into your core processes.
And when you say core processes, you mean things like AP, financial close?
Accounts, payable, financial close, demand planning, procurement, the real engine room of the company.
So the goal is to get the ERP to a place where copilots and agents are.
Where?
Actively helping the finance and supply chain teams.
Exactly. They're augmenting the work. And the sources really break down the value into three main buckets.
Okay, and the first one is the most obvious one, right? Efficiency and speed.
Mm-hmm.
This is all about the Gen AI assistants and the agent automations just ruthlessly cutting out manual work.
Like touchless invoice capture.
Or automated three-way matching, triaging exceptions. It's stuff that takes hours now, happening in seconds.
And all that speed, it flows directly into the second big outcome.
Which is better decisions.
Right. This is where the machine learning, the ML part, really starts to shine.
So by having the AI inside the system, whether it's SAP, Oracle, whatever.
Yeah, doesn't matter the vendor.
You get these real-time insights that improve your planning, your forecasting.
And tighten your working capital control.
I want to double-click on that better decisions piece for a second.
Sure.
How does something like anomaly detection in an ERP actually translate to, cash on the balance sheet? Can you give us a concrete example?
Yeah, absolutely. Think about the financial close. An ERP processes millions of transactions, right?
Of course.
An embedded AI agent doesn't wait until month end. It's watching journal entries, intercompany stuff in real time.
So it's always on.
Always. And if it sees a big, weird inventory adjustment or a payment pattern that just looks off, it flags it immediately.
You could catch a fraudulent invoice days earlier.
Or a massive inventory spike. And that's cash you've just preserved. It's not just a flag in a report. It turns fraud detection from this backward-looking accounting chore into a proactive, real-time control.
That makes a ton of sense. And the third category is the foundation, right? The scalable foundation.
Yes. You can't do any of this on creaky, fragmented old systems.
So you need these modern data fabrics,
Yeah.
things like SAP's DataSphere, or Microsoft's Dataverse and Fabric.
Exactly. This part is so critical. You can't just have your data sprayed across a dozen different data lakes to run one AI model. You need a data structure that lets you add new AI use cases really quickly. But, and this is the key, it has to keep the core ERP semantics.
The rules.
The rules, the business logic. That's what ensures data quality and, just as important, auditability.
So if that's the foundation, the architecture, how does a user, say an accountant, actually experience this? You mentioned embedded AI and no context switching.
Yeah, and that it really is the dream state for anyone who's lived in an ERP.
I can imagine. having 10 tabs open just to post one journal entry.
Right. The whole point is the AI has to live inside the application flow. You can't have your finance team opening a separate chat window and pasting sensitive data into it.
No, that's a security nightmare.
It's a disaster. The AI has to be native, right there on the screen, ready to act on the data it sees.
And it seems like all the big vendors are betting their entire future on this model.
They absolutely are. I mean, look at SAP. They have Joule.
Their Copilot?
It's their Copilot and their agent system, and it's being infused across the whole suite. Hundreds of embedded AI skills right inside S/4HANA.
And then you have Oracle.
Oracle's doing something similar with their Fusion Cloud apps. They're embedding predictive and generative AI, but they're moving really fast toward these specific AI agents.
Like a Ledger AI agent?
Exactly, or a document I/O agent. Very task-specific. And of course, Microsoft is all in with Dynamics 365 Copilot.
Right, for things like invoice capture, PO matching, demand planning.
And you can't forget Infor. With Coleman AI, they're really focusing on industry-specific predictions, which is their strength.
So the common thread with all of them, again, is this data layer. You mentioned the risk of losing ERP semantics. For anyone listening who isn't, deep in the weeds building RAG pipelines, what does that actually mean? Why is using Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG, so much better than just feeding the whole system to a large language model?
That's a great question. Because if you just take all your ERP data contracts, invoices, journals, and you just throw it at an LLM, two bad things happen. First, the model gets totally overwhelmed. Second, it loses all the context.
It doesn't know the rules.
It doesn't know the rules. The semantics are the rules. Like which cost center rolls up to which legal entity. What a three-way match actually means. ARIES lets the model go and ask the data fabric, the data sphere, or the dataverse, for the specific governed piece of information it needs with the rules attached before it answers.
So ARIE makes sure the AI respects the logic of your business. It doesn't just make up plausible-sounding nonsense.
Exactly right. And that trust factor is everything. It's what allows for this critical evolution, the move from a co-pilot to an agent.
Okay, so a co-pilot suggests things. An agent does things.
That's the simplest way to put it. A co-pilot helps you write an email. An agent is designed for what we call agentic execution. It's about executing tasks.
And this is where it really becomes a system of action.
Yes. Think about that accounts payable agent again. It doesn't just suggest how to categorize an invoice.
What it reads the email.
It triages the incoming email, captures the invoice data, and proactively proposes the three-way match resolution right there in the ERP. Then it just queues it up for a human to approve. The system acted first.
The system is now proactive, not reactive.
That's the shift.
Okay, so let's move beyond the architecture. If you're a CFO listening to this, you need a place to start on Monday. The big fear is pilot purgatory.
Oh, absolutely. Playing with AI for 6 months and getting nowhere.
So our sources identified 3 sort of high-signal processes where you can get real, measurable results fast.
And you have to focus where the gains are convertible to cash. Better cycle times, lower working capital.
So use case number 1. The universal pain point for every company.
Accounts payable.
Accounts payable. Getting to that touchless invoice flow.
The how here is pretty straightforward. You use the embedded invoice capture and the payables Copilot features that the vendors are offering.
So the tools extract, classify, and do the three-way match automatically.
Right. And the outcome is huge. You eliminate that miserable, soul-crushing job of an AP clerk staring at 1,000 invoices just to find the 50 that have a problem.
Now, the human just handles the exceptions.
Only the exceptions. Faster cycles, better compliance. It's a massive win.
It's a win for efficiency and probably employee morale, too.
No question.
Okay, use case 2. This is for any business with inventory. Demand planning.
It's moving from old-school statistical forecasts to true AI-assisted forecasting.
So you turn on the ML features in your planning apps, like Dynamics 365, SEM, or SAP IBP.
And the model starts blending your internal sales history with external signals. Things a human planner just can't track at scale.
Like what? Weather forecasts, social media trends.
Weather, social media, economic indicators, you name it. And the output is a set of scenarios that can automatically feed your MRP system.
And the financial outcome of being more accurate.
It's profound. Higher forecast accuracy means a better service level for your customers, fewer stockouts. But it also means lower working capital, because you're not sitting on mountains of safety stock just in case.
And there's a KPI for that, right?
Yeah, you measure it with MAPE mean absolute percentage error. A lower MAPE means less cash tied up in inventory. Simple as that.
Lower MAP, less cash tied up.
Got it.
Got it. Okay, use case number 3, close and controls.
A huge time saver. You're using tools like the Oracle Fusion Ledger AI agent or SAP Joule skills to spot weird transactions before the month is even closed.
And it doesn't just find the problems.
No, it can actually draft the variance commentary. It can write the explanation for why the actuals were different from the budget and then propose the adjusting journal entry.
But always with a human approving it.
Always. Human approval is mandatory. The outcome is a faster close with better explanations and a much cleaner audit trail.
Okay, we've established that 70% of ERP projects fail, and that agentic execution is, well, it's incredibly powerful.
Which means governance isn't some nice to have.
It's the whole game.
It's the core safeguard. It's everything. So let's talk about the non-negotiables.
Let's do it. Where do we start?
First, human in the loop, HITL. It has to be strictly enforced for any critical action.
Like what? Posting a huge journal entry.
Posting a journal, releasing a payment, changing a price. An agent should never, ever be allowed to do that without a mandatory human sign-off.
Okay, that seems obvious, but what about the less obvious risks? What about segregation of duties, CD?
That is the most complex piece of the puzzle. An agent's permissions must perfectly mirror the human roles.
So if an accountant can't approve their own payment,
then their AI agent can't either. You have to model the agent's permissions on your existing CD framework, or you open up a massive compliance hole.
And then there are the external risks. Security.
Absolutely. You have to guard against things like prompt injection, where someone tries to trick the AI, and, of course, data leakage.
So you lock the agents down to only approved tools and data.
And you run red team tests constantly. You have to make sure they're not accidentally leaking sensitive customer data, PHI, PCI, any of it.
Which brings up data residency. Where does this processing actually happen?
Any of that sensitive data, PHI, PCI, it has to stay on enterprise endpoints that are documented and governed by your vendor. Keep it out of consumer chat tools. That is absolutely non-negotiable.
Okay, so let's pivot to architecture. For a listener starting out, the sources lay out 3 main patterns for integration.
The first, and usually the safest place to start, is what we call embedded first.
Meaning you just stick with what SAP or Oracle gives you out of the box.
Exactly. You rely on Joule, you rely on Fusion AI. The pros are it's secure and there's low change management. The con is you move at your vendor's pace.
Option 2 is for companies that want more control. Federated ARI.
Right. Here, you index your ERP metadata in a governed store, like DataSphere. It gives you a ton of flexibility for custom models, but
it requires a much stronger internal engineering team.
You need real platform engineering muscle to pull it off.
And the third, the most advanced pattern.
The agentic workflow layer. This is where you're orchestrating tasks end-to-end with checkpoints, with SLAs. You're treating the whole process as a managed service.
So to avoid that pilot purgatory we talked about, how do you measure success? What are the KPIs that really matter?
You have to be relentless and precise. Focus on time to close. Focus on the impact on your cash conversion cycle. So, DPO and DIO.
Days payable outstanding and days inventory outstanding.
Yep. Your forecast accuracy, that MAPE we mentioned, and your overall exception rate. If you can cut your AT exception rate in half, you have delivered real, measurable value.
Okay, let's wrap this with a timeline. The 90-day view.
It needs to be fast but structured. Days 0 to 15, framing and mapping controls. Pick your first 2 processes and make sure your vendor's AI is compliant.
Days 16 to 45, pilot build.
You turn on invoice capture, you configure demand planning, and you immediately instrument those KPIs.
And then days 46 to 75 is about hardening.
Harden and govern. Build your policies, set your data rules, and get formal security sign-off that your agent permissions mirror your human roles.
And the final stretch, days 76 to 90.
You scale. Extend to the next function, maybe procurement, maybe S&OP. You publish the playbook, and you start reporting on those KPIs in your monthly ops reviews. That's how you get compounding value.
So if we boil it all down, the formula seems to be vendor-provided embedded AI, layered on top of a governed data fabric.
That respects the ERP semantics.
And then executed through these agentic workflows. Start small, in finance and planning, and measure everything.
That's it. And the philosophical shift here is just, it's total. The ERP is no longer a passive historian. It's an active participant in the business.
Proposing actions, executing tasks.
All with a full audit trail. And we're seeing the biggest gains in manufacturing, logistics, the asset-heavy sectors. The complexity of their demand and inventory just gives the AI so much more to optimize.
That is the deep dive into the blueprint for the next generation of enterprise systems.
You know, we've seen that 90-day plan progresses incredibly fast. It goes from a pilot to being hardened and governed in just 45 days.
Yeah, that's a blistering pace.
It is, and it requires that agent permissions strictly mirror human roles for segregation of duties. So this raises a really important question for you to think about as you build your own system.
Yeah.
Since the AI agent is effectively taking over all this repetitive decision-making, how might the rapid extension of these AI tasks, from AP to S&OP, in just the final 15 days of that plan force a fundamental redefinition of human roles inside your company, faster than your IT or HR departments can possibly keep up?